Lewis Hart for the Ring magazine. Delighted today to be joined with Chris Eubank Jr. superfan, Ben Shalom. Just concluded.
I'm proud.
Just got the full tracksuit on there. Just concluded the weigh-in. Eubank Jr., Conor, Ben all weighed in ahead of tomorrow night. Yeah, just your first thoughts. Obviously, the main story being the missed weight from Eubank. I know it weren't much, but a weight miss is a weight. A weight miss is a weight miss at the end of the day. No matter if it's 5 pounds over, 0.05 pounds over.
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying a weight miss is a weight miss.
Absolute bollocks. Absolute bollocks.
Am I not like? Is it not a weight miss?
A weight limit is there to make sure that the fighters are in an even fight. So don't tell me that half an ounce is now making it an uneven fight.
But
what a load of nonsense.
Is he overweight, Ben?
What a load of absolute nonsense.
So did he make, what was the contracted weight he had to make?
He could have had they've given him 10 minutes to go and have a whatever in the usual setting, and if everyone had a bit of common sense, he'd have been under. Yeah. He had to travel a long way. There was confusion as to the time in which he had to make the weight. So absolutely, for me, half an ounce. Come on.
Yeah, but if you're playing devil's advocate, you know the weight is 160 and he's not made that weight, regardless of however long it is. Sorry.
It was flickering from 160 to half an ounce. Anyone with a bit of sense would have called it 160 pounds. I've seen it plenty of time.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Most scales don't even show half an ounce; they show an ounce. Yeah. Ridiculous.
So that's what I'm saying. So when it comes to that. Why could he not just take off the 22
They were trying to rush him. They tried to rush him. They said, "Oh, you got 4 minutes. Come on." Yeah. You know, we know technically, you know, he's got an hour from when Conor weighs in, but there was a lot of confusion around the weigh-in times, and he made the look. He's worked hard to make that weight.
So something I actually wanted to ask you. Obviously, with rules of the Board of Control, if you miss weight. You are allowed an hour to remake the weight. Was that offered? Because Jonathan Bank's saying it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. It was. They took it from when Conor weighed in. So it was. Everyone was turning up at 11. Okay. Remember, there's 20 fighters turning up. Conor, I think, weighs in at 11:25.
Yes, right.
And then they said, and then Chris turned up about 12 o'clock. Had to come from. He's staying on the other side of London, and then weighed in. And then it was like, right, you've got 4 minutes. But I mean, listen, for half an ounce, we can all make a big deal out of it. It's not a big deal, and the pictures of Chris should show how hard he's worked to make that way.
Of course. But as I say, like you're sort of talking about reasons there, Ben, that are like they could have been stopped. Like he could have got there earlier. He could have.
Of course, you know what I mean? Of course. Listen,
like you're
not making excuses. There's obviously been a slight miscalculation, but I'm telling you, these scales were slightly heavier than the ones obviously he's been using. And you're talking about a half an ounce flickering. I mean, anyone with common sense just goes 160. Yeah. I mean, most scales. Anyway, we move on. It's not going to make a difference.
So for yourself, no worries ahead of tomorrow morning when he has to make a weight again.
He doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to do anything. He's got to make sure he's safe. And I think that's what British boxing fans care about. Do you want him to fucking go and make a weight that doesn't make sense, or then cause, make it unsafe? I'm getting pissed off about the situation because the reality is it's about it being safe for the fighters, and these sort of made up rehydration weights and things like that the day after that shouldn't exist are not something that, whether he does or whether he doesn't, let's see. But let's be honest, this is about the safety of the fighters, and there's rules for a reason.
Regardless of me agreeing or disagreeing with you, Ben, the rules are the rules, and the rules are.
There aren't rules around it. The rules you're not allowed. The rules is you're not allowed to have a rehydration weigh.
Then how has it been allowed to be signed then? That's why I'll ask you. Why has it been allowed to be signed? Okay. Well, that's that. Ahead of tomorrow night, Ben.
Listen, I'm not making excuses, but I'm just saying I think everyone knows what's going on here, and I think Chris Eubank Jr. was, if given the time, was there at 160 today and subject to half an ounce. Let's not make a big deal out of it. He's worked extremely hard to make that weight at 35 years old, and I'm extremely proud of him, and it's only firing him up even more to do the business on Saturday night.
Final prediction?
Eubank knockout.
Appreciate the time, Ben. Thank you.